Tonight I'm going to do additional testing on MicroXP 0.83. Tonight we're going to test VirtualBox, and I have a virtual machine appliance here for Windows 7 Home Premium. Now, I have not installed these yet, but let's see how this goes. This is not a high horsepower laptop. We're going with VirtualBox 5.1.38. I'm going to install with all the defaults. Clicky clicky. Alright, we're not going to start right now. We're going to install the extensions. They are now registered. Yes, let's install these extensions. Of course, I got to scroll through and agree. It's not totally asking you to sign your life away yet, but yes, I'm agreeing to a lot of stuff here. I'm not copying their source code and whatnot and using it for profit. I'm not using any of this for profit. Sharing for everybody. No, we're not going to upgrade. They've upgraded beyond this anyways, and Windows XP does not support anything past version 5.2. Alright, go away, Hourglass. Yes. Extensions installed successfully. Okay. Now, I think I could go ahead and install that right now, but I think it would be a good idea to go ahead and restart the system. And yes, I have already installed all the updates to MicroXP, including the DirectX 9 missing DLL files. Correct drivers are installed, already tested and functioning. I do not know yet if the arrow theme will work or not, but it should be configured to work within the virtual machine. Let's go ahead and import this virtual machine appliance. Alright, and again, let's just go ahead and prove that yes, this is MicroXP 0.83, heavily patched, but it is MicroXP. Anyway, back to the task at hand. Alright, this is only a single core system anyways, so, and I have 2 gigs RAM on here, 1 gig of it for the virtual machine. Let's reinitialize the MAC addresses and go ahead and import. This might take a little moment. Other interesting fun things while we're waiting that I've introduced in this build are add-ons and extensions, such as when you right click on a file, you get, this is integrated here, edit date. Well, we're not going to actually use these, I'm just showing. You can also go down to properties, and I've added file hashes. This is also integrated. Well, there we go. And actually, if you wanted other file hashes, you could also even right click on there and go to settings and click for other hashes. This hash tab version 5.2 if you want to install that on your own version of Windows. I've integrated it into this version. Anyway, I'm not fiddling with settings, I'm just showing you what's available. And it says 32 minutes remaining. It will not be quite that long. I also prefer use of Process Explorer in replacement for Task Manager. This is also integrated. Yes, it's using a bit more resources than the stock MicroXP, but even then, not very much. 352 megabytes physical memory, 194.2 megabytes system comment. Okay, well, it's busy doing a thing in the background, so of course the CPU usage is just going to be up. Input, output, blah, blah, blah. Alright, let's hover over the actual running services here. There's really not a whole lot of them, just the bare minimum necessary. Like I said, this is MicroXP. With a few customizations, of course. Again, while we're waiting, let's go back to the management console. I spent quite a bit actually putting this together. The full management console would not work on MicroXP, so I had to creatively cut some things up. But stick with the things that are absolutely necessary. We got the event viewer. Oh, boo-hoo. There might still be an error or three here and there. Shared folders. I don't even know if I needed that. It's basically to show that nothing's sharing. And device manager. Yes, that works correctly as well. Normal devices are installed. Disk management. I was so happy to get that working in the last video. Even though floppy drives don't show up there. Blah. But also, as of the last video, that also means that check disk works right on fat file systems too. That was another big important thing. System services. Of course, we need access to the system service settings. Let me maximize this window so we can see. Yes, this is the whole list of system services, and let me sort by what's started and what's not, so everybody can see. And now this one, VirtualBox would have never worked in the first place if it wasn't for the system certificate management and updates. By the way, this is the 2020 system certificates. Where am I? Alright, the most critical ones are trust root certificates. Alright. And of course, like I said, these are the 2020 certificates. Now, flip over to the untrusted certificates. These are the ones that is revoked at the time. All these things are properly registered. And this was absolutely mandatory to get it to work as a host system for VirtualBox. Anyways, now you get a better idea where the computer management console is. Let's see where we at here. 25 minutes. I highly doubt it'll take that long. I very well compressed the virtual machine appliance there. It'll actually probably finish here in just a couple of minutes. Excuse me. What else did I include? Oh yes, also re-enabled and let's see. Let's load up the control panel. Yes, the administrative tools. Yes, I re-enabled that and also got that organized. And we got some nifty things here. Well, Process Explorer is already set as default. We got auto runs for auto start programs. Of course, I've disabled some miscellaneous things that I don't absolutely need at startup. But anyways, we're just waiting on the setup to finish. The Windows System Time Service, I was not able to get that working, but I did manage to use the National Institute of Science and Technology, their program for the system updates of time, and I wrapped it up into an automatic call that once the time zone is set right, also included time zone editor, original Windows NT time zone editor. But once all that is set right, the system time, you just double click on that and it automatically does its thing in the background. If you want, you can extract that with WinRAR, and it has the utility you can open up with this graphical user interface. We also have TCP UDP endpoint viewer. I don't know why Microsoft didn't necessarily include these kind of utilities in the first place, but these are also very handy utilities. The user should know what they're getting into. And DirectX diagnostics, well, yeah, you pretty much know what that's about. I can't exactly run that right now. I ain't trying to crash the VirtualBox setup right now. Got a pretty good feeling from my compression ratios that this shouldn't take but a couple of minutes more. I don't want to interfere with it too much. I don't want to bog it down much. Go ahead and get loaded. But what else small can I show off? I did also include basic Windows games, including the almighty Pinball. Of course, I'm not going to sit and play this, but play it for a moment. Probably lose right quick. I'm not exactly used to playing one hand. Go ahead and lose. One of these days I might fix up a camera stand. I do believe from prior estimates that this might only take a couple more minutes if my phone don't run on memory first. Yes. I'm not sure how many people caught my post about this a little while back, some odd months back. But there was an issue with Microsoft's time zone display where for some reason Poland was completely missing in the water. And it existed for the longest time. I have no earthly idea why. But if you look, I've included a correction for that. Poland now shows as green instead of blue, as if it's underwater, which obviously it's not. Anyways. This is fixing to jump here in a second. I know it is. I believe it reaches 42%. And then expands the rest of the blank image. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Can't remember. It was 42 or 46% of what? Somewhere in there. The rest of it would be blank space. Expand right out. I'm stressing this poor potato out, ain't I? I knew it. Told you. Alright. We now have Windows 7 Home Premium Virtual Machine. Virtual Machine Appliance imported. Alright, now I'm going to go over snapshots. I always like to do this right after importing Virtual Machine, before I ever run it. I like to save a state as appliance imported. Exactly where it's at, however it imported. We'll go from there. These specs should be sufficient to run on this system. Won't be the best performance in the world, but here we go. I have auto capture keyboard on. Yes, I know how all these controls work. I hope y'all do too. The right control key is your host system key. If you hold the right control key and hit home, that brings your host menu up. If you hold the right control key and hit F, that brings you in and out of full screen mode. Anyway, I'm sure you can check the help files for VirtualBox and figure all these sort of things out. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to full screen mode. All right. Yes, I will switch over to full screen, and I do not want you to show this message again. We are now booting Windows 7 Home Premium on top of MicroXP. No, I never claimed this would be the fastest thing in the world. My hardware specs are pretty well crap. 1.6 gigahertz single core Celeron processor, 2 gigabytes of RAM, 40 gigabyte parallel ATA hard drive. Nothing really to brag about, but hey, it's there. Yes, mouse one integration. I'm aware. Thank you. I can also dismiss this notification. Alright, focus on something. Focus on something. There we go. My, how I wish this was a multi-core processor, but unfortunately it's not. But we're stress testing things, you know? Oh, think of that. No. No, apparently I didn't get arrow. Well, I can't expect everything in the world. Yeah, I'm not going to bother updating the VirtualBox guest editions. Apparently this laptop only has 96 megabytes of video memory to share, and it doesn't do the best job of sharing it in terms of what's necessary to run Windows 7. But that's okay. It's running Windows 7. That's what really counts. Alright. Hey, let's go a little above and beyond. And know this edition of Windows 7, this one's private to me. This one is actually licensed to me, and I'm not sharing it. But I've already done plenty of modifications to make sure it should not notify me about, hey, update to Windows 10 and all this other crap. It's going to stop that. We know it's not going to load up that. Hey, let's load up. Oops. Philly. Trying to do things before it's done loading. Forget about this first load crap. So let's load up the oldnet.com. I'm not going to sit and install every program under this. I'm just going to test out what it is. Let's see what FrogFind has to find on MicroXP. Hey, Action Retro, are you having some trouble with your search engine again? I don't know. Don't seem to like that. Anyway. What the heck? Let's just try this default search. Nintendo. Whatever. Okay, we're getting content off the internet anyways. And that's more or less all I wanted to show right now. Now, I'm also going to force kill this. If you hold right control and hit Q in VirtualBox, it'll bring you up to close VirtualBox machine. Now, we have the save machine state. I'm not worried about that right now, nor the send shutdown signal. I'm just going to power off the machine and restore to the save state I made as we started up this project, the appliance imported. I recommend that to anybody importing a virtual machine appliance. Save a state right there after you import it. Anyway, there you go. There's MicroXP running Windows 7. Now, probably slow as dirt. You probably wouldn't want to do that every day, but it runs.